John, what a difference a CEO makes. Microsoft crushing the numbers for the quarter.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And I think it really is sort of it really the beat was very operationally. It was impressive from a strategic perspective. The cloud migration strategy that they've crafted, but really on the operational execution of that strategy, particularly impressive. I would note was the gross margin improvement. They beat expectations by 2%, is 69% versus 67%. That means that in this cloud migration, they are actually, being able to take advantage of their tremendous economies of scale and improving the scale efficiencies to improve gross margin as they migrate to the cloud. That margin improvement, when you're in that sort of cloud migration strategy, usually doesn't happen until later, and it's also very difficult to even eke out any revenue growth until sort of the subscriptions start to build. You look at Oracle. Oracle's undergoing the same sort of transition, and yet they haven't grown revenue at all for 5 years. So overall, it was quite impressive.
I mean, since Satya Nadella came in February 2014, the stock is up 275%. He's doing everything right. What's he doing right here?
Well, one of the things was to pick one. Like he talked when he first came in about mobile and cloud. And I think what you're seeing is that Microsoft is really focusing on cloud over mobile, and I think that's exactly the right strategy given their what they have in terms of their installed base of Office users, making that a tethered cloud application, and all of the other the enterprise applications that were written in their framework called .NET, and making Azure their cloud service really easy for enterprises to migrate those .NET applications over. So, that kind of blocking and tackling, produces the kind of results that you're seeing.
All right, and you also said that Intelligent Cloud, it's now its biggest revenue segment, 34% of the June quarter, and you think customers like these solutions because there's a whole bunch of different offerings, and it's not Amazon.
That's right. There's always going to be, and enterprises want to migrate their applications to the cloud. That's quite clear. But they don't want to give a monopoly status and monopoly pricing power to Amazon if they can get away with it. So I do think that Microsoft, and to some lesser degree Google, does benefit from this, because they are the two really, and Salesforce is the third, I would say, that really benefit and can convince enterprises to migrate their applications with these providers. And I'll also throw in, I think Microsoft's doing some really interesting things on the R&D front as well, particularly with augmented reality in the workspace, actually, work-related and business-related applications of augmented reality with HoloLens. That's some pretty impressive stuff. Obviously not contributing much now, but it's good to see the company is back on the innovation track as well.
John, I'm glad that you brought up investment in R&D, because we're not seeing that as much from a lot of companies out there, and we're starting to see these investments pay off. Let's talk about valuation for a bit here. Let's assume the stock's at 140, kind of where it was after hours. That's 28 times. Is there any more upside here? How do you feel about that valuation?
I think that's it's close to a fair valuation. I think it also depends on what you're looking for as an investor, right? If you are looking for a real steady Eddie sort of, with that dividend that they're probably likely to continue to increase, and the very, I think that with the secular trends and given their size and so forth, and the very strong balance sheet, if you have a downturn, I think Microsoft is on a relative basis a tech name that you want to be in. So if you're looking for, one of those kinds of companies that gives you a 2x or a 3x or have a plausible shot at that within 5 years but has higher risk, then Microsoft might not be the stock for you in this situation.
So I would imagine in today's trade, you're really going to be focusing on what the tell is here, how it's reacting, and if the fundamentals do line up with where the price action is.
Yeah, it appeared that right after hours yesterday, it took a while for people to kind of digest what actually happened, and so I think I haven't seen the open yet, but it was up close to 3% right before the open. So certainly there are investors who are recognizing the fundamental execution that's going on here.